Okay, so on my right, I have Aileen Lee, who is a producer in her own right in Taiwan, but has also line produced for international productions coming into Taipei, including Luc Besson's Lucy. Then I have Jennifer Yao, who is director of the Taipei Film Commission, who's going to talk about some of the supports that are available in the city and how you can work with the city to shoot a film there. Then on my left, I have Vincent Wang from House on Fire, who is a French producer based in Paris, who has strong connections with Taiwan, so has worked on a number of productions in Taipei too. And then I have Tom Decor from Cinema de Facto, who is an independent producer in Paris who's done a number of co-productions with well, you've just done one with Taiwan, but you've worked, you said, with Chile, and you had Los Perros at Cannes this year in Critics Week. And he's going to talk about his experiences on Love Wall, which is the second film from Romain Coggiotori. So just to kick things off, Jennifer, you're going to talk about what you can do in Taipei and what's available and how it works.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jennifer Yao. I'm the director of Taipei Film Commission. That's right. Okay. Actually, before doing this job, I've been working in the film industry in Taiwan for over 20 years. Since I was 10 years old. No, I'm joking. Just, in case you guess how old I am. Okay, back to the point. Well, actually, every time I talk about the history about the Taipei Film Commission, I always, feel grateful to the one person, the very big name. Not here, not these 4 persons. I think that every one of you know the one big movie star, Tom Cruise, right? Okay, next. The story, because at the end of the 2006, the producer, from the Mission Impossible 3 came to Taiwan trying to find the location for this film. Okay, at that time, the Taipei 101, that building is the top high building, the top high building of the world. So, but there is no Taipei Film Commission yet. So they find the PR, and PR says, sorry, we have to check your script. And then translated the script into Chinese, spend a lot of money. Okay, despite of that, after reading that script, and the PR say, sorry, no, we cannot accept it. I said, why? It's Tom Cruise. I said, I know that. But in the script, your bodyguards, climbing to the top of the mountain, shooting at Tom Cruise. Come on, our security guards, there is no any gun, we just hang the stick. Okay, and security, the stick. So, come on, man, that's movie. I said, okay, I know it's movie, but, you have to notice the fact. The fact is, around this building, there is no second height building. But in the movie, you describe the Tom jump into the second height building. Sorry, it's not true. I say, wow, that's so difficult to deal with that. So eventually, they give up this idea. They change to the other city, Shanghai. And we lost the opportunity to let people notice to see Taipei. No mention about how much money was lost, for our filmmakers. So after half a year, the producer came back to Taipei again Coincidentally, he met our mayor, and we know that how much we lost. So we accelerate the procedure. Just within the half year, we have Taipei Film Commission. Thanks, Tom Cruise, and I have job. No, I'm kidding again. Before, taking this position, I've been work with the biggest film company in Taiwan, the CMPC, and I have, I was the line producer and planner, the production designer, and do even the distribution, doing distribution, and that's why that I know Lu Besson working with the Europa company, and that's why, the history. However, because of this, we have worked together for the Lucy in 2013. Yeah, in 2013. Okay. Back to the point. We have the main blah blah blah. Okay, jump up that, skip that. Thank you for that. And we have the 5 departments, not only assisting in production, co-production, also in distributing films. It doesn't matter you are the foreign film or the Taiwan film. Once you're filming in Taipei City, we will help your film, internationally do the distribution, okay, and the marketing. And we also, have some policies in incentives. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, next. Yeah, let me do that by myself. Okay. We have such service. I think that you will know that later. You can bring this. There are, the location guide you can see, and in short, because we don't have much time, I would like to let Aline to introduce more about the co-production, the details, and the practical, the problems you might have to face, how to solve that problems. I will lay it short. 3 principal elements will, that's very important in co-productions. First, money, of course. Second, people, professional and the talented people. And the third, service. Okay, this is the service we can offer. If you apply to Taipei Film Commission, you want to film in Taipei, you can enjoy this service, without any cent. You don't have to cost any cent, including the transportation, the free location scouting, the very huge discount in accommodations, and the free the location, blah blah blah. Okay, and next. And also, you can have the. Sorry, I can. You can see the promotion, the marketing for completed film shot in Taipei City. And that's why you can see the Lucy, when they release internationally, Taipei Film Commission, we spend much money to help them in marketing and promotion, including the buying the AD in different like variety screen, Hollywood Reporter, this kind of film magazines. And you don't have to spend any cent of that. And next, that's since 2007 to last year, at the end of last year, we have assisted over 534 foreign productions filming in Taipei. And that's the most of the different type and film films like the feature films, the TV series, and advertisement, commercials, short films, documentary, is this kind of things, all assisted by Taipei Film Commission. I think that you are more interested in this map. Most of the about 40% from the co-production from the China and Hong Kong. And the second one is from the United States of America, and then the Japan and the France. Since we signed the partnership agreement with France, and there are more and more co-productions from, between the Paris and Taipei. And by this opportunity, working with Paris co-production, we hope there are more and more great co-production and great movies, happen in the near future. Next. Okay, that's what events we have. Since 2 years ago, we started to have the Taipei Film Academy to introduce more the masters from the war. And for example, this year we will invite the director of Little Prince to Taiwan to join us. This kind of the training programs and education. And then because of the successful and very effective influence between the Taipei and the Paris through the partnership, the solid partnership with the France, and we started to sign many partnership with the different film commission, like New Zealand Film Commission and Hong Kong and Singapore, New York, and Hokkaido, this Japan Film Commissions. So that's what we are, we try to do more and make this more functional. And I think that's very short. Okay. Okay. Actually, the most important part is about the incentives. Should I say it later or should I say now?
Well,
okay.
I was thinking. Oh, that's working. So I was thinking what we should do is maybe talk about the incentives within. Well, if you could explain a little bit what is available very briefly, and then I thought maybe we could talk about the incentives in the context of maybe, I don't know if Lucy got incentives, but also Love Wall and Road to Mandalay, about how that worked and that might be the best way to do it.
Okay. Actually, for the money in this part and the money no talk, we have the three resources from the Taipei City government, from the Taipei Film Commission, and from the central government, which is the Cultural Ministry, to handle that. So you can have the maximum money from the Taipei Film Commission, $1.2 million US. If you film in Taipei, you can have this different. You have that, right? Yeah. And the second, from the Taipei City government, you have another $1 million US if you work with the local production company, like Eileen's company, and apply to Taipei City government through them. And also, you can, at the meantime, you can also apply to the central government for additional, I think the cash rebate. Yeah. Once you cost over $100,000 US in Taiwan, and you can, apply to central government, get that, 25 maximum to 30%, cash tax rebate. Okay.
I'm sorry, I haven't understood. So, do you have to spend a certain amount of your budget in Taipei to access that? And do you have to have Taiwanese elements to the story? And also, do you vet the scripts? I mean, if there's something, do they have to have a certain storyline, or if there's something that's...
Thank you for asking that. That's really important. I forgot to tell you. For example, like Martin Scorsese's Silence, everybody knows that the film was shot in Taipei too, but the story actually is from the Japan. The whole story is based in the 17th century Japan, right? But we accept that, and we give them, the 1.2, I think the 2.2, US dollars, $1 million US dollars, and the totally is, I think, the over 25 million US dollars. It's huge. Yeah.
Sorry, you gave...
Yeah. It's huge.
You gave $25 million.
No, not 25. 200. Yeah, sorry, 2.5. Sorry. Yes.
Everybody be signing up. I might make a movie.
If you become the citizen of Taipei City, you can get that.
Okay. So you talked about how Lucy, one of the factors in Lucy coming to Taipei was because you had worked with Europacorp and Luc Besson when you were a producer. But Aileen, you came in as a line producer on that. So I was just wondering, were there any other incentives that you gave that project, and then what was your role in that part of it? It was 10 days that the shooting, but you had a long pre-production period, I think.
For Lucy, right?
For Lucy.
For Lucy, I think before Lucy, actually, I co-produced with a French film in 2008. I remember that is an art house film, very small budget. We didn't sit in Taipei. Shooting Taipei. No. I'm talking about another one. It's art house film. I didn't shoot in Taipei, so you didn't know that. Sorry. And I shot in I shot in another city in Taichung. Yeah. And the director, the French director, is called the Brother Lanu. I don't know. It's a brother. It's a co-director thing. So. Yeah. So that is my first co-production experience with a French team, and the DP, the photographer, is called the Thierry Abagas. That is Luc Besson's usually work with this DP. So that was a very good experience. So, and when the Europod, the producer, called me and told me that there might be the Luc Besson film while shooting Taiwan, and see if I'm interested. I said, of course I'm interested. So, and he said that if I can see a resume and the company profile, and I sent it out to email to him. And after the week, and of course during the week, we emailed back and forth, and he gave me they already have the shooting schedule. Half year before the production, so, and they tell me that what location they need in Taipei, and if you have the picture or any idea, and I can't give you the script, but I can give you the what we're looking for, and we email back and forth, and after a week or two, I don't remember, and he said, okay, we decide to work with you, and one of the reasons, I guess, is because we have a good experience with the DP. Yeah, back in the 4 or 5 years ago, and he remembered my company and my name. So, so I think that is, I don't know, that's the fate or something. And the so that's Lucy. I got the chance to work with Europod and Luc Besson. And then at the first time they came to Taipei to do the location scouting is in June. That is 4 months ago, before the shooting, and of course we have already found some location for them, and there is the AD, the assistant director, and the art director, and the producer comes. The live producer comes. 3 of them. They spend 3 days to go through all the location. It's like 20 or 30s. Yeah, 24. Yeah, they see all in 3 days. You know, that is so exhausting. And after the location study, they also ask for is there any good foods in Taiwan? So any good bar in Taiwan? So it's like almost 24 hours work with them. Yeah, and 3 days after they pick up some location. We give them some pictures of what we think about the location they're looking for, and they did a lot of research. And so when we meet the first meeting, they give you a lot of pictures and say, "Oh, where is it? Where is it? We want to see this." So they do a lot of the full homework with them. And 3 days later, they decide some location and Luke come over to Taipei, and we spend 2 more days to go through all the location that Luke is interested in. And on the third day, Luke's arriving Taipei, we decide all the locations. So it's very efficient. It's a very efficient work, and and they come back and they stay a couple of days, and they come back, and we start doing the prep. So the prep is originally 3 months. The plan is 3 months, and even though we only shoot 10 days, but the prep is very detailed. We go through all the locations, and we plan all the details, like where the actors' resting place, where the crew resting place, where what we're going to eat in each meal, and where we park all the cars, and just like all the details. And
but what was the percentage of crew? Was it mainly French crew that flew in, or did you use local crew?
Yeah. The total crew is over 100. It's about 100, and the French crew flew over 35%.
Right.
Yeah.
And, I mean, in terms of eating and stuff, were they picky, or did they just love eating Taiwanese food? I know, like, Luc Besson loves Asian food. He complained about the food in Britain when he shot Fifth Element in Britain, but that wasn't an issue for you. No. So there's all those facilities are there then. So the crew and catering and everything that's available there.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, but of course we give them some choices. We give them many choices, and they tried the food. That is so crazy, They tried all the stuff, and decide, this is my
sticky tofu.
Yeah.
And the Din Tai Fung.
Yeah.
Xiaolongbao.
Yeah, that's what he likes. And also, why we do the only 10 days shooting, why we do all the preparations so long is because there's a lot of indoor scenes you can see in Lucy, like the room in the hotel, or the inside of the hospital, or the Scarlett Johansson's apartment in Taipei. Actually, that were all shot in Paris.
Right.
Yeah. So besides the shooting works, we also do a lot of research and find the props they need and ship it back to Paris. Right. So that is a lot of indoor scenes that was actually prepared by the art department from Taiwan. So that's one of the reasons that takes so long.
But at the time of the shoots, there were some stories in the press, nasty press, saying about paparazzis bothering Scarlett Johansson and banging on her car. So what did they do? So what happened in the end? How did you control this? I mean, that's I guess
we control them. We just battle with them. Yeah.
Okay, okay. But you said you changed. Like I think the mayor did didn't he do a conference calling people to? Didn't he call for people? The mayor at the time called for people to calm down. Didn't? Oh, yeah. And then you had to change. You changed shoots every now and again.
Yeah, we changed the schedule. Yeah, because in Taiwan, if you want to shoot on street, there is a sign you have to put on. I think 1 or 2 weeks before the shooting.
2 weeks before that,
we have
to block the street and put the board.
Yeah, put the board so everybody knows there's a film's going to shoot here. And when Luc Besson and Scarlett Johansson arrive in Taipei, everybody knows they are here. So they notice all the boards that this kind of the film shooting here. So all the press or the local people just waiting there, and the 10 days shooting is most of the time we shoot on the streets, not like Live or Pi. They shoot in the studio, And stylists, they shoot in the outside Taipei is like a mountain area. So it's not like Lucy, we shot in the center of Taipei. So when the paparazzi knows that, oh yeah, actually the Louboutin's tenants in Taiwan, they're just watch closely that.
Everybody is searching for the Scarlett Johansson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have to change the schedule of
Right.
the shooting. That is so crazy because you know that in the screen, when you see the screen, all the cars are by art department. That is not the car parked on the street. So all the car is there. So when we shoot on the street, we have to dealing with the local people. They have to park their car in other places, and then we put our car back. The art house, the art department's house, the car, the props. We have to put the props. So once we change the days, we have to talk to them again. So they have to park the car outside other streets. Then we have to arrange our props go here. So it's a lot of work. So just because
But you managed to do it.
yeah, that is so crazy in the 10 days. It's like 10 years, you know, the work. Yeah.
Right. So I think because we haven't got loads of time left, so I was thinking maybe we should move over to the other two projects. I think I think first of all we're going to do Road to Mandalay first. Yeah. So do you want to play your trailer? So we're going to look at Road to Mandalay, which was was it Burmese? You said?
Yes, that one. Yeah. Road Mandalay is Taiwanese Burmese director. His name is Midizi. This film was released in France in this April, just 2 months ago. And I think it's still in the theater in Paris, in France. And this film, I was in co-producer in French side. And in Taiwanese side, I have the Patrick Wong and Midizi himself, actually the main producer. And also we have the partner come from Germany, who have raised the World Cinema Fund. And at the other side, this film, the film is shooting in Thailand with the Taiwanese and Thailand crew and Burmese actors, and also the Taiwanese actors. And all image post-production was doing in France, and also VFX, CGI, with MacGuff, very famous French CGI laboratory. And so maybe I can just show the trailer first.
So just to go back to the production of the film, so can you just explain what the Taiwanese elements were and the French elements, how you brought those into the project? And was it finance? Was it mainly crew? How did it work?
Yeah, for the financing part, okay, so this film is in Taiwanese part essentially come from, I think they have the Ministry of Culture for the Rainbow Fund. And the other side, they have the equity private investor. And so the idea is will be to found it will be his first collaboration for MIDI with Europe, because he desired to have some, particularly for the technical creative element, come from France. And so the idea is, because MIDI, this is the fourth film of MIDI. Of course, you have to Ice Poison, so already in the Panorama, and the other films was in Rotterdam. So for the International Film Festival, he's quite well known about young directors. And so the idea is how to get the fund in France, because of course we have the Cinéma du Monde, CNC, but because it's a fourth film, so we need to go to the second college. So second college is quite competitive, because usually you have a very big name for European director like Wim Wenders, Danny Moretti, etc. So, and in France, unfortunately, his previous film never realized in France, and also in the international market, few films want sell to Sundance TV, but not rare have sale agent to bring this film in the market to have to sell all there is. So how that's a strategic for us at beginning with Patrick and MIDI to how to push this project in the international market. And at the same time, how can I build this? How can to present this young director come from Taiwan in France? Because almost distributor or the other audience didn't know his previous work. So that's why we have done for with the L'Atelier. The project is going to Cannes at 2015, I think. And just after, we have organized with La Rochelle, Festival de La Rochelle, to make a retrospective of MIDI to try to promote his previous films during the development process, and then we try to push his project to the CNC to get fund. And so that's what we have strategically to work about, the different funding to present him, to also to try to explain this project, because this film is happened in the story is happened in Thailand with Burmese migrant people. So sometime in France we didn't know this case, because it's of course in France we have also migrant, but we didn't know politically in the Southeast Asia could be. So it's also important for us to build, to explain the situation, the background situation of this story. And so finally we get a fund for El Cinéma du Monde, Post-Production Île-de-France, South-Side, and of course...
Was that because the post-production was done?
Yeah, because post-production, as they said, images post-production in French lab, and also all collaborating with a French very good colorist, and also all CGI parts. All CGI is a very important part inside the film to make a dream oniric ways inside the film.
And then the Taiwanese component was the fund, and then the crew who was shooting, and obviously the director who was shooting in Thailand. That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Taiwan. The most technical creative crew head of the department is come from Taiwan.
Right.
And of course also the main cast from a very famous, particularly for the actors, a very famous Taiwanese actor, and also famous in China. And the actress, she worked since first Midi's films, so she's the Midi's actress.
So who ended up selling that film? Sorry, who ended up selling that film?
To sell this film?
Yeah.
UDI have.
Oh, sorry, it was UDI. Okay.
She was there.
Delphine, I don't know. She's maybe gone now.
Yeah,
but
gone now.
okay. So.
And the French distributor is Acacia.
Right.
And of course, at this moment, you have at this time during the a lot sales agent will be interested by this film because what to say. Because Midi, because the story is very strong, and also Midi have very strong vision as a director, but we need to have strong partners inside this film. So that's why we have already worked with UDI for the Stray Dogs, for the Tsai Ming-liang's films. So like why we prefer to choose the same partners who know this kind of film, of the market of this kind of films, to follow up this work.
So for the Taiwanese projects here, there definitely is a route into getting French finance and into working with people here. So it makes sense to be here. Tom, I was wondering whether we could talk about how you guys worked on Love Wall, how that relationship began, partnership began.
Yeah, thank you. So we did co-produce with Vincent a film called Love Wall. It's directed by Romain Cogitor. It's his second feature film that I produced, his first feature film and his first short films. And in his new script, it's the story between, it's a tragic love story between two persons, two young, a woman and a man who are translators in Taiwan. And maybe 1/3 of the film is shot in Taiwan. So when we finished writing the script and we began to raise money, we were not hoping to find money outside of Europe, and we couldn't think that we could find some money in Asia and in Taiwan especially, until I met Vincent. And then we became very strong partners on the film, and he really went to look for money in Taiwan. So Romain went there. He decided he went on Reikis and on location scoutings, and then he found two small cities, which unfortunately were not Taipei. Because they were also they didn't have as much money as in Taipei, but there were very strong incentives there. So I will leave Vincent talk about that. In France, it was it's a small budget. I mean, it's a low budget. It's the 1.5 million euros budget. Even if the first budget, of course, were higher, we had to downsize the budget, and keeping all the artistical elements in place. So we had the strong support from Deborah François, which is a famous French actress, and Paul Ami, and for the couple. And so we found monies in Limousin, French regional funding, and in Alsace, and in also Communauté de Strasbourg. And then we found some private equity, a sales agent, UDI, a French distributor, Sophie Dulac Distribution, very good distributor, Sofica. And so we had 2/3 of the money coming from France. And then we were speaking with Vincent, and he was trying to find money in Taiwan, and he could raise some money there.
Yes, well, I have read this story. I love very much. It's a strong, moving story. So, and I feel it could be possible also for Taiwanese market. Of course, it's a French movie. It's quite difficult sometimes because it's a very art house, but it could be possible because it's a very strong love story. So at the beginning, I start to talk with my friend in Taiwan and distributor in Taiwan, and to read to translate the script and to read to know what he think about if it's possible to have some Taiwanese release for this kind of movie, for the French movie. And yeah, he definitely like also, he think it's not a big, huge market, but it could be possible to have some Taiwanese realizing. So that's why I think it's, at that time, I think it could be great if we can do real co-production, you know. So it means also have Taiwanese creative in the head of a department, and also have some Taiwan actor or actress inside of the stories. And then I back to Tom and Romain, the director, to think about if it's could possible for them to think in this way. And of course, in Taiwan, we have in the Ministry of Culture have the initiative for the foreign language films shooting in Taiwan. But the problem is to get this fund. So the role have changed. We need to be the director or the producer need to have Palme d'Or, Golden Lion, Golden Bear, or Oscar award. So, of course, we are not Martin Scorsese. We are not, and also Luc Besson can sell 50 territories. And so, how can we do to get this fund? So that's why I think probably we need to find the other solution, maybe the regional fund. And so that's why we have about a decade with Romain. We go to Taiwan, and he starts to develop the film with, you know, to scouting, to meet the people, meet the Taiwanese creative, like the screenplayer, and to discuss how could be to arrange this script could more local side. And so we have go to different places, Taipei, Taichung, and Kaohsiung, until Roman have fallen in love in the Kaohsiung city. And so, so he, after his scouting, he come back to Paris, and he, have the delivery a new version, new draft, and the more Taiwanese elements, real elements, daily life elements. And then I go to at some time to Kaohsiung city to see the commission, to city mayor, to explain this project, how could be possible to make this Taiwanese and French co-production. And Taiwanese in Kaohsiung city have some fund, very interesting fund. It's like equity. So of course it's government money, but we need to have give back the plan of the return on investments. And so we work together with them to how could be to give some corridor to Kaohsiung, because we have Sofika involved, and the different financial elements to build out this cooperation.
So in the end, what percentage of finance came from Taiwan?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Finally, we have around between 40 and 30% percentage. We get of course Kaohsiung equities, Kaohsiung city equities, Taichung subsidies, it's the soft money, and also Taiwan Ministry of Government, Ministry of the Culture for the Rainbow Fund.
The Rainbow Fund.
Rainbow
You said that.
Fund,
You've said that twice. So the Rainbow Fund is the Taiwan, the private one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Rainbow Fund is come from Ministry of Culture. It's a fund for the Cultural Exchange Fund, and also between it could be between Taiwan and Southeast Asia or the Taiwan in Europe. Normally, it's more for beyond the arts, like performing, like dance, like art. So sometimes they give some fund for the for the cinema, but few. So we try to show to the government commissioner to see how could be this collaboration between France and Taiwan, and not only to shoot in Taipei, but in Taiwan, or to just to, you know, like consider like Taiwan like the place to shoot, but a real creative way between two creative peoples, like French director with Taiwanese art directors and a costume designer, and also have Taiwanese actors involved inside this project. So finally we get this film.
So,
of course, in the script, because the two main characters, they are the guide. So we all talk about also Taiwanese culture during all of the films.
and so in terms of the crew and the production services, how did you find it? I mean, were the crew comparable with France? I mean, France has obviously got amazing crew.
Actually, the key creatives, main and lead key creatives were the same as the one we had on the previous film from Roma. We knew that we had to match some teams and some people from Taiwan and from France. So when he went on location scouting, he could also meet with key creatives there. So we have chosen to work with, of course, art department and a costume designer, knowing that we would have people coming from Taiwan working in France, people coming from France working in Taiwan, actors which are both in Taiwan and in France and the same. So it was really a mixed team. And of course, we don't have the same way to work in terms of, first of all, Taiwanese work 7 days a week, 20 hours a day. So that was not really union style in France, and always smiley and really cool. And they are very competent. No, it's amazing. We were really into a very, very active days of work in prep and in shooting. And then also, of course, even if it's a camera and sound, it's not the same way exactly to, I don't know, to the boom, the sound culture is not the same and some stuff like that. But we could really manage with that, and especially because our team is also an international team, so it's used to go, and I brought them, some of them in Haiti, some of them in Chile, some of them all over the world, so they are used also to find people to work with. And I think that also in Taiwan, as there are many co-productions coming there, they were very open to that. Mostly everybody was speaking in English. There were sometimes some, language complication, but it was very, very few of them. And for whole of the convenience, it was really cool. I mean, with the food, everything was like people were very happy to go there. I mean, it's a rule in co-production to be very happy to go there and to be very happy to collaborate with, because sometimes it's just not working the same way at all, and you will have to find the real solutions to make people work together. So that was, I think, very fine. And when the Taiwanese people came to France also, they were surprised. And, I mean, actors, the actress, and I think we have made a good casting for the crew, because also it's your crew, you know them very well, and they know how to work with people coming from abroad.
So when is the film going to be completed? The post-production?
It should be delivered for Berlin.
For Berlin,
for
okay.
Berlinale,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So maybe it will be ready to propose the film to Berlinale, but it will be very short time to get ready for it.
Okay, so I think you're going to show us a short making of, and then I'll go back to you to see if there's anything you wanted to add about the incentives and projects afterwards. So we're just going to watch.
Yeah.
Just going to watch that.
And the time for the beamer to warm up. I just want to say that also. Just Vincent, and he's my friend, but he's also a collaborator. They have been very supportive in all the development stage, and I think that you had a small envelope for developing, inviting the director to come there, to pay for all the location scoutings and stuff. And it was really important into this co-production that you were involved since the very beginning, before we knew and secured the money there, that you were investing money to make sure that we could come. And that was really good, because when you are preparing a film, it's always the period where you lack the most the money. Thank you, Vincent. Ceremony for the start of the shoot.
City to tell the middle of the love story of my couple. So we found them in the middle of their story, of their love story, and also the city is in the middle of the island, from north to south. So for me, it was really to be inside the country, inside the love story, to be middle of the middle. So now I'm in the street of my location of Coproduction. So we have filmed this street from exterior and also from interior. It's casual for my characters, and they are really into their life, into their love story in this street. I picked this street because she's very local and it's very also romantic, at least for me, for European. And yeah, we found it thanks to the Taiwanese crew with stuff. So we eventually got some very happy.
The sets that we had in the temples that were really peaceful, and I really enjoyed going into the temple shootings, and it's really interesting to see the architecture and how beautiful it is. In Caution, the shooting was really, really nice, because we spent a lot of time, and it was very fast, but good because we did a lot of different sets, and I kind of, through the set, discovered the life of how people live in Caution. And because we did the set in apartments, so I see how apartments look like, I see the streets, I see the temples, I see a lot of stuff. And it's like, for me, it's discovering the life of people from Caution, so it was really interesting.
Of course, this was done before the shoot in France occurred. So you only have the Taiwanese side. But next time we will show you the French side of the making of.
Okay. Anyway, thanks for that. That was nice to see that. It is in French. It's a French language movie.
Yes, it's a French language movie, but they are also speaking a lot in Chinese, in English. In the story, they are translators, so they are learning how to speak Chinese. That's why they are in Taiwan. At the beginning, they don't know each other, so we see each of them speaking Chinese, and they had to be coached to learn how to pronounce the right way the Chinese words.
Right. Okay. And so, and the Taiwanese cast isn't then speaking French. No, they are too.
Yeah. Also.
Right. Okay. Okay.
So they also had to. I mean, we had to choose someone who had some French basis of French language, and then to learn and to coach them because one of the characters is moving to France actually, and so once she's living in France, she has to adapt and speak French better and better every day. So, but it was really actors coaching for language coaching.
Right, okay, thank you. So was there anything that you would like to add after this discussion here?
Okay. Thank you, Tom, for your wonderful introduction. And you know that besides Taipei City, you can have the many places, many cities you can go and make your wonderful films there. And and also, some cities has the subsidies, but maximum is about, $5,100. Because of in Taipei, you can also have the 2.2 million US dollars there. But also, I know that there is a little bit change in different city in their policies. Like in Kaohsiung City, they changed the policy of subsidies to the investment. Yes, you know that. So actually, when you film your shoot your film in Kaohsiung, and they will invest your film if your project is approved by them. And then after this film is released, and then they have to get back the money, the first in I think it's in gross net.
Vincent talked about it. It's an equity investment, but it's a mixed investment.
Yes. But in Taichung, the Life of Pi was shot in there, so that you have the many choices, in Taiwan. Not only shooting by the sea or in the city and in the mountain. It's quite convenient. To the mountain from the Taipei to the mountain is just 40 minutes to the Yangming, the national, the park, and to the Danshui, the sea, over the sea, by sea is about a half hour, so it's quite convenient. I hope you will be the next.
I know, just to go off on a small tangent, I'm not sure if this is really still the case, but sort of 4 or 5 years ago when Taiwan was presenting itself as a shooting location, one of the things they were saying was being a sort of a jumping point into China because of such an interest in going into China. Is this something that's still happening? People are going through sort of Taiwan, wanting to work with China, but going through Taiwan, but not so much now that the Chinese film industry is more developed. Sorry if I've put you on the spot, but I just think it's an interesting point. Of course, yeah. Actually, we speak same language. You all know that. In the past 8 years, the numbers of the co-production between the Taiwan Strait, between the China and the Taiwan, booming up very fast. Actually, it occupied about over 40 to 45% in our co-production. However, it's you don't have to worry about the political situation, because over the past 20 years, Taiwan filmmakers have a very close relationship
very, very deep relationship with China filmmakers, So it's quite common in the recent years, especially in recent 5 years, more and more the co-production. You can see the map, happened between these two places. I think that's the most convenient way, and the most safe way to cooperate with Taiwan filmmakers and go through Taiwan to import your film into the China, film market, because we speak the same language with them. We have the quite plenty of experience working with them, dealing with them. We know the market, we know the people. So yes, I think still we have the more and more the co-productions with them. Yeah.
That might be the starting point to work in Taiwan and then go to China. But I would say that is, depending on what the story you are talking about. It's like I actually have worked with more Chinese crew than French crew in the past 2 years, past 2 or 3 years. One is the John Woo's The Crossing. He shot in Taiwan 3 years ago, and the story is about in the 50s. It's not a modern time. And we construct a Japanese garden house in the mountain. So that fits the story background. And why they shot in Taiwan? Because Taiwan was colonized by Japanese before the World War II. So we have the culture is very similar with the Taiwan has a culture very similar with the Japanese. So, and when he want to build the Japanese garden house, and that is the choice in Taiwan because we know how it looks like and we can know how to build it. So it really depends on the story. And last year I worked with Jackie Chan. He also has a film shot in Taiwan. The story is about the future. So in the future, the story about the future, the future city could be looks like anywhere. It just as imagine. So he shoot a bit in Taiwan, a bit in Sydney, and then go back to Beijing. So it really depends on the what the story is about. And talking about working with the crew, I think if you want to go to the Mandarin market, the Chinese-speaking market, Taiwan would be the first choice because the Taiwanese crew is much easier to work with. You can totally rely on them and more professional and care about your money. Respect the contract. Yeah, so it's an easy way to if you want to try to get into the Chinese-speaking market, either to sell your film or to try to produce with them. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So, are there any questions on the floor that people have, or things you'd like to know about working with Taiwan that we haven't answered, or does anybody have a project that they're trying to shoot that would make sense? So thank you, Tom. Bye. Thank you, Tom. Thank you. So does anybody have any sort of questions for everybody here? I was just wondering, I mean, we've talked about Love Wall. Have you got examples of similar types of projects which have happened in Taipei, where somebody with a sort of... if you don't worry, I was just wondering.
We will have that 3. The future projects in between the France and the Taiwan. I would like to introduce the talented filmmakers from Taiwan. The first moves, a project selected by the Paris Coproduction Village, and then director Hui Zhen. Hello, and the half Taiwanese. And they tell Stefano, say hi to everyone. Yeah. He can speak very good French and Italian and Chinese.
So Stefano, you're based in Taiwan. You're French. You're Italian.
I'm Italian.
You're Italian. So you're based in Taiwan. So have you done productions mixing European and Taiwanese crew and up until now?
Yes. I'm working on French Taiwan co-production at this moment, feature film. There was in Fabrique de Cinéma du Monde in Cannes last month, and then I've worked on a lot of documentaries before, mixing European, Asian crews and Taiwanese as well. So got a few experiences.
So what's the project that was in Fabrique du Monde?
It's a co-production. It's a Malaysian story, but shot in Taiwan because it's talking about the migrants coming from Malaysia to Taiwan,
Right.
Chinese immigrants.
All right, okay. And do you find it easy to mix both? Thus far, you've mixed finance and
Yes,
from both
I
sides.
think the very good thing in Taiwan is that it's a very mixed culture. That's why it's also easy for us to find this type of stories. Like Vincent just introduced a Burmese director that is based in Taiwan. I'm working with a Malaysian director that is based in Taiwan. Myself, I'm Italian. So it's really a crossroad, not just for Chinese language culture, but for other Southeast Asian or and for myself, like my personal experience, I find it very welcoming in all senses, both in professional and living way.
Right. Okay. Great. So what's the time have we got? Are we on the? I think we. Oh, sorry.
Hello everyone, my name is Rina. I'm also a Taiwanese filmmaker, and we're really happy to be here in Paris Coproduction Village, and we had a great meetings with French producers, sales agents and distribution, and hopefully we will have future collaborations. Thank you.
Well, thanks very much. So is there anything else you'd like to say before we close up? Okay. Well.
There are the location guides and some actors guidebook, and also the producer's book here. You can find many information, including the weather of Taipei, the who you should find, and where you should find. You can find every answers there. Yeah. So it's totally free.
And is there a sort of a central website where we can find this information too?
Of course, yes.
Yeah. It's in the booklet, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And do you have like directories with line producers and producers? And
yes, you can find from our official website.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, look, thank you very much for talking to us. Thank you, Vincent. Thank you, Aileen. Thank you.